that was undertaken either by us or any other investigative body that I am aware of, then my answer was no to that. But then I thought that I will have to clarify that this character of Zungu from DPCI Tom section also seen he showed up on one of the members of the cartels that we later arrested this year in the name of Vusmatlala that I didn't deal with yesterday. So when we arrested this character, Vusimuzi, Ket Matlala, on the 14th of May, his phone was confiscated from him, and then when the downloads were done of the phone, the communication between him and this Zungu were found on his phone, which then proved what the General Shibiri had said when we met him the first time. And yet again, on the 6th of July, during the press briefing of General Kwanazi, we were notified by the prison personnel in where Vusmatlala is held that he was found with a phone in his prison cell. Then when we went and confiscated that phone, yet again on his contact, we found this character, my pardon, Zungu. So I just felt that I needed to clarify those two occasions with the commissioners.
Thank you, Witness A.
Thank you, Chair. And then there's a second aspect that the witness wants to clarify. It relates to Chair's engagement with the witness again regarding the reasons that the three other investigating members of the team had left the investigation. Chair will recall that the Chair had asked about threats and whether that was the reason, in line with what General Mkwanazi said. The witness just wants to clarify his answer on that aspect. You may go ahead, Witness A.
Thank you, Chair. My answer to that was, or rather the question was, why did they withdraw from the team? Then I said I did not know the reason. Then it was suggested to me whether it was because of the threats. Then I really ended saying maybe it was because of the threat, but it was not given to us formally as threats. But I thought when I was thinking back on it to say maybe it is one of the issues that cannot be publicly said to this commission. The reason as to why they left from the site, from my side, cannot really be given in this public platform.
Are you, without giving the reasons, able to say why not?
Yes, Chair. It is. I think it will amount to saying it's one of those rather sensitive issues that cannot be given to the public to know about. That will mean it can be given to the commissioners, but not on this platform.
Thank you.
Thank you, Witness A. Witness A, we'll now continue with where we left off with your evidence. We were about to start the topic of involvement of crime intelligence and the PKTT. and that is on page 23, and in particular, we were at paragraph 73 of your statement. Will you just go there?
Yes, I'm on that paragraph, Commissioners.
Can you tell us how the PKTT got involved, how you got involved and got to know the PKTT?
The PKTT was involved when we got now taken into under the command or under the wing of General Lekalakala, who was now going to provide us with protection and also take care of investigation. That is when now we were told that we're going to be giving support from the team that is now known as T. Then we had a meeting where we were told what to expect and what was going to happen, and and we were asked what support we needed in terms of doing our work, which is now investigation, and then the protection that had to go hand in hand with investigation.
Okay, can I just take you back then to, and let's deal with it systematically. So at paragraph 73, you talk about being placed under 24-hour protection, and at this stage, the PKTT is not yet involved. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
It was not yet involved. It was not yet involved, but that was the times when we will briefly, like from day to day, getting briefing as to how they're going to be involved in order to assist us to move on with our investigations.
Okay. Now, can you just tell the Commission how did being under 24-hour protection impact on your daily lives and your work as well as investigators?
When it comes to our lives, it brought a huge change that was not expected, because it was I think it was the first experience to both of us witness B and myself. We've never imagined that we could be admitted to this program. And then this program came with its own challenges, as much as it was assisting us to be able to do our investigation in a protected way. But it means now your life as a person is impacted. And then also the families are somehow affected, even though they understand, but the kids really do not understand. Because even if you can try and explain to them to say, hey, this is how I'm working, they don't really understand why it has to happen the way it happens. And then we had to make a huge adjustment. And not only adjustment, it also came with some sacrifices, because now we need to sacrifice this in order to be able to adapt in this program, if I can just put it briefly without giving a lot about it.
Thank you. On page 24 of your statement at paragraph 74, you speak about events of the 28th of October 2024. Can you just tell us what happened?
On this day, it was the day when we were, myself and witness B, we were taken into a meeting where we met with the commanders that were going to take over. They were going to be like taking different sections of our work, because it included investigation, which is one part, which meant that you needed to have the commander from the detective side. Then it also needed, it also meant that you needed to have a commander from protection and a commander from crime intelligence. And then we were taken through that to be told as what it is that we're going to expect. I would say it was sort of like an induction program. We were told you're going to be taken to a place, and then in that place you must expect this and that, in short. But I don't think that I can really go into the details of what was happening there, because now we were living under a new, we were taken under a new section of the police, which is crime intelligence. And then normally they do not do their operations publicly. And then some of the things and their operations cannot really be articulated in the platform as public as this one.
Thank you. Witness A, then at paragraph 75, you speak about another meeting that occurred on the 4th of November 2024 with the same officials. Can you tell us what that meeting was about?
This meeting was now a follow-up meeting, where now we were meeting with the same commanders to take on from where we left the previous week. And then on that meeting, we were then told that we're not going back to our homes. We were now admitted to the program on full-time basis now, meaning the program is going to take over, which means the crime intelligence is taking over. Whatever you are doing it under the crime intelligence wing, because from the day of the murder of Mr. Swart, it means it was the mainstream police under the detective wing that was overseeing the whole operation. But from that day on to this day, it was crime intelligence that was taking over, meaning that we were going to be doing our investigations as detectives, the way detectives work, but under the wing of the crime intelligence. Meaning it will be the crime intelligence who will be telling you, this is how we're going to move, and then this is how you're going to eat, if I may just say a few things, and this is how you're going to buy your clothes, because we are looking for the safety, which is now the personal safety of the detectives, and then the whole people that are involved. Because now it was not only the two detectives, it was also every other stakeholder who is there is now being taken care by crime intelligence, if I may say that. Meaning, even if you wanted to, for instance, attend to a wedding, which would be something that is private, you need to inform the commanders to say, on such and such day, I will have a wedding or a function at my family. Then it will be them to then say, this is how it's going to happen, if it will happen, if you are going to be allowed to attend to that. I think I'm not going to go into deep details about it.
Witness A, it's Commissioner Kumalo here. Focusing only on the dockets, we are now in November 2024. Did you remain investigating officers in the Swart murder case, and did you remain responsible for the dockets, or are you saying that the dockets were taken over by crime intelligence? I just want to clarify that.
We remain investigators to this day, but it was the crime intelligence who was looking at the safety of the docket and the safety of the personnel that was working in the operation. As I mentioned yesterday, that the focus of safety was not only targeted to or given to the people, which means the investigators, but also the docket as well. It needed to be protected. So we are still the investigating officers in the docket as we were before the crime intelligence took over. But it is just them that are providing security, or I would say protection, and the guidance that is needed in the investigation in terms of assistance.
Thank you, Witness A. Can you just tell us how did you feel that day about the fact that you would now be taken away from your home?
I would say it was overwhelming in a way that, as much as I had been told a week prior that I will be taken under the wing of the crime intelligence, but on that day there was no notice in the morning that, hey, you won't sleep home, we're going to take you. We just taken to a place, and then we're told this is the place. Go get your bags. You're coming here now. And then it means now it was a life-changing experience to say you need to adapt, you need to learn to live here in this way. And I'm not saying that it is unbearable conditions, but I'm saying if you have to change and adapt to a new way of living as an adult, and adapting a new way of doing things as an adult, and learn to depend to other people for everything that you need to do, it's not an easy thing. So it brought that change. Let's say now I from that day I've never been alone. I will be moving, wherever I move with a group. Whatever I do, I need to do with a group. Whatever decision that I take, I need to think of the group that this cannot be my decision. The group needs to agree to a decision. Sometimes not only agree, but approve of what I'm suggesting. So that was the adaptation that one needed to learn in order to adapt in this environment.
You describe it as follows in your statement. At that moment, the full weight of the situation came crashing on me like a ton of bricks. Life had changed. Is that how you felt?
That is how I felt at that particular moment. And even now, sometimes I do feel like that, because you will think of the things, what you used to do, maybe on special days in the year, on the holidays. Everyone knows on this holiday, this is what I do with the family. On this holiday, this is what I do with maybe my friends. On this day, this is what I used to do with the colleagues at the office. But now I'm here, meaning I will have to be doing all of those things with these people that now I'm being told to live with. Because at that time, it was just the people, because you haven't met them. But now you are told that there are people that are coming, you will have to live with them. So it was one of those things. At the same time, you just need to keep your family abreast, to tell them this is what is happening, this is how I'm living. And then maybe I should just mention to the commission to say for 3 months, if I'm correct, we didn't go home. We were here. We celebrated Christmas here. Like the festive holidays, starting from the early December to New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, we were here, not going home, and then not even disclosing to the people that are close to you where you are, because this is a new program, and then it's a sensitive program, and then it's an environment that is controlled by a new unit that you've never worked so closely with. Now, you also have to learn new ways of communicating even with your cell phone, to say, I cannot disclose to my friends where I'm enjoying my New Year's until I figure out what is actually happening here, because now there is this aspect of safety. There is also an aspect of saying, now if I expose myself much to my friends where I am, they might get excited of what is happening and tell the wrong people. So those are the things, or those are the changes that one had to deal with and adopt in very quickly.
Thank you, Witness A. At paragraph 76 of your statement, you deal with your arrival at the safe house and being joined by the PKTT. Can you just tell us what transpired there?
Yes, commissioners. Just a short time after we arrived here at the new place, we were then told that we were not going to be working like, I would say, the mainstream detectives like we used to work. We were going to be introduced to a new team, which is now known as PKTT, that we're going to work hand in hand with. And then we were told what to expect, and then what it is that will be expected of us. But from us, there was nothing new really that was expected. We're still going to be putting the effort or doing the daily investigation that we were doing from the onset. It was just that now it was going to be done in a different environment, different style, different people, and then maybe let me not go to working hours, because that is an operational issue.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
that's in short, that's what it was.
Thank you, Witness A. Then can you tell us what was the status of the Swart murder investigation at this stage on paragraph 76?
The status of Swart murder case was at a very advanced stage, such that we were ready to arrest a fourth suspect, who is now Kadiso Molefe, and his niece, who is Lucky Molefe, that we could not be able to arrest to this day.
You mean his nephew?
A nephew. What did I say, Commissioner? I didn't hear
He
me.
said niece.
Yes, nephew. My apology.
Okay.
Yes, Commissioners.
And what was your involvement in that process? And can you start from the time, from the 5th of December?
From the 5th of December, we were engaged with the team now. The PKTT team was in full force, giving us assistance wherever it was needed. Then the 5th of December was the day when we were going to different courts, doing applications for warrants for these people that I've mentioned, who will be like Molefe and Katiso Molefe.
And did you obtain the warrants?
We did obtain the warrants for their arrest, and then there was going to be an operation to arrest them the following day, which was going to be the 6th of December.
Okay, that then takes us to the next topic. Maybe you can deal then with what happens on the 6th of December.
The 6th of December was the day when we had three operations that were running differently. But I will talk mainly to two, which was split amongst or between myself and Witness B. I was in charge of the operation that was going to be arresting Katiso Molefe on that day. And Witness B was going to be in charge of an operation that was supposed to arrest Lucky Molefe. So these operations were planned to be running at the same time but separately. But then unfortunately, the one of Lucky Molefe did not proceed. It did actually took off, but it was called off because he was not found where he was supposed to be found, where he was traced. Meaning that Witness B and her team needed to join us in the operation that was going to be arresting Katiso Molefe.
Okay.
Witness, if I may. Witness A, in that paragraph 76, you speak about a J50, the warrant of arrest for Molefe, but then you don't say anything similar about Lucky Molefe. Did you have a warrant for his arrest as well?
Yes, there was a warrant for Lucky Molefe as well, commissioners. Maybe the reason I didn't say much about it is just that it was an operation that Witness B was in charge of. But there definitely was a warrant of arrest for him as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloy. Witness A, can you tell us then how you went about the takedown of Mr. Molefe?
Sorry, Advocate Siggles and Witness A, because there are two Molefes here, I think let's just be clear for the record going forward. When he refers to Molefe, he's referring to Katiso Molefe and not Lucky Molefe. Otherwise, we will get
Yes.
confused. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Kumalo. Witness A, you may
Thank
proceed.
you, Sorry. Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, I will be referring to Katiso Molefe on this operation that I was actually in charge of. It took place on the 6th of December, and then it was an operation where we needed to arrest him, as we will call it a takedown. And then it started in the morning of the day with our members doing the surveillance to see the movements of the suspect, the Katiso Molefe, up until there was the takedown midday of the same day, where he was then arrested at his place. Maybe I can just give details as to how he was then arrested. We then went to his place, and then we requested entry, and then he opened his gate. We found him with another person, and then that person was heavily armed. We believe him to be his bodyguard at the time. And then we had to disarm him and then restrain both of them before we could ask them to identify themselves to us.
Witness- sorry,
having
Witness
done
A?
that,
Witness A, can I just get some specifics regarding you saying that you had to disarm them? What arms did they have with them?
the person that was with Kadiso Molefe at the time had a rifle. And then his rifle, I think he also had 3 extra fully loaded magazines with him, and a magazine that was in the firearm, meaning that he had 4 fully loaded magazine in his rifle, and then he also had a side pistol that he had on his waist, and then Kadiso Molefe also had a side pistol that was on his waist. And then we disarmed them, and then we asked them to produce or to show us their firearm licenses, which they did. And then we took possession of the firearms and we were restrained to them.
Sorry, Advocate Siegels. There's an issue here that may become important at a later stage, so maybe we should deal with it now. Witness A, the operation to arrest Mr. Molefe and your team, what I need clarity on is, firstly, whether your team was in uniform, in police uniform, and how you identified yourselves when you got there. Because an issue that may arise in this commission later on is that there was suspicion that your team impersonated police people. That's why there was interference in relation to what led to Mr. Molefe's arrest. So if you can just clarify who was the team and how you were dressed and how you identified yourselves when you got to Molefe's house at Sandhurst, in Sandhurst.
Yes, Commissioners. Before we could enter the gate, we identified ourselves by the way of shouting at him because he was on the other side of the gate. So we audibly told him that we are police, and then we requested entry. And then he opened, and once he opened, because they were armed, we first needed to make the situation safe before we could just produce our appointment certificates for them to see that we are police. And then, more than that, we also produced the warrant of arrest that was signed by the court for him to read, to see that we are police. And then, for what I understand, is that he knew from then that we are police, because we even told him that we are here with a case that he knew about. All he said in the instant when I handcuffed him was that, how are we linking him to the murder of Mr. Swart, because we know that he was not there. Then I told him that this is not the case that you needed to be there. But any case, we're going to explain to you how you are linked at a later stage. Right now, I just need to explain your rights to you as an arrested person. And then he cooperated. He didn't give problems.
Yes. Witness A, in that paragraph 77, you say something about who made up the team that went to effect this arrest. Can you speak more to that? What are the units, if that's what they are called, the different units that were involved with this?
The units that were involved in this takedown, it was my unit, which is now organized crime detectives, because that is where I am from. And the unit that we were working with at the time, which is TRT, Tactical Response Team, that is the unit that was giving us support. That is the unit that did the operation, commissioners.
Yes. You mentioned the PKTT in the statement. Do you want to speak to that?
Oh, yes. Yes, the PKTT came with the CI, the crime intelligence side of things. And then the PKTT also was now giving guidance and then giving support. As I said, now we were having different operations that were running at the same time. It means now the PKTT as the support component was not on the ground with us as we arrested. It was us that were on the ground going to different operation to arrest. As I said, the operations were supposed to be two running at the same time, meaning now there were commanders from PKTT that were coordinating all those operations that were happening at the same time. So they were not like physically at Mlife's place, but they were overseeing the operations from a secluded place, if I may say that.
Okay, so just to be sure, where you say at approximately 12:30, the Molefe takedown team, which included members of the PKTT, traced his movements to his house in Sandhurst. That's what you're explaining there when you say they were assisting, coordinating, but not present at the scene when you effected the arrest.
That is correct. The commanders were not, that were overseeing, they were not there, they were just coordinating it from somewhere else, but we were reporting to them from time to time, and the CI was helping to locate him, to say this is where he is moving, and then this is where he is at this time, so you can
Yes.
effectively take down.
Yes. And then in that same paragraph, you also say we were met with resistance from Molefe and his person, who we thought was perhaps his driver or bodyguard as they approached the gate. You haven't described any conduct which amounts to resistance in your evidence, or that I could understand as resistance. Do you want to explain that bit in the statement?
Yes, the resistance may have came in two parts. The first part of the resistance, maybe I won't be able to talk to that much because I was not part of the team. There is the team that was confronted by this particular person that I'm saying was armed with the rifle when they were doing surveillance. They were approached by this person when they reported to us to say, we are here now, we're being pointed by firearms. And this time we were at a different location waiting for them to tell us that the suspect that you're looking for is here. But now they gave us a call that, hey, we're being surrounded by a person who is armed with a firearm, and he is with the suspect. And then they were also told that at some point there is a person who is a police officer, a JMPD person that came. So I was not personally confronted with that situation. It was the situation that was reported to us, but it made us that we had to rush very quickly from where we were at the time, so that situation, that side, could not escalate, because we didn't know what worse could happen if we didn't come as quick as we needed to. But then when we at the gate requesting entry, the resistance that we came across with was that they first didn't want to open the gate. For some time, as requesting, demanding entry and all that, they did come to the gate but did not want to open the gate up until they saw that it was a team of quite a lot of people. Maybe that is why they ended up opening, I'm thinking. So that is the resistance that I'm talking about, that I experienced.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. Witness A, can you identify the person that was with Mr. Molefe that you say had a rifle and another firearm?
Is that person identified himself as Lihasa Moloi?
And
And
we,
then-
continue.
Yes, Commissioner.
Were you able to establish if he is a driver or a bodyguard of Mr. Molefe?
It was difficult to establish that, because if I did ask him, if are you a bodyguard to Mr. Molefe, then he said no, he's not a bodyguard to Mr. Molefe, he's just a friend. Then I asked him, why are you so heavily armed? Then he told me that he was phoned by Mr. Molefe saying that there are people that are parked next to his house and he doesn't trust them. That is why he came armed.
Okay. So at what point then did you gain entry? You mentioned something about this person driving past you into the gate in a white BMW. When did that happen?
It happened, if I remember correctly, it was because now we came down the road and we parked just next to the gate, waiting to enter at this place of Mr. Molefe. But before we could get out of the house, this BMW came rushing and it went in. And then at that time, we didn't know if Mr. Molefe was in that BMW or not. But now we were told that it was inside. So it was a confusion to us to say, is he inside or he just came in with this BMW? But now as we approach the gate, demanding to entry, when these two people came to us, we didn't know at that time that the two of the people, one was Mr. Molefe, because we didn't know him before then. It was when they were restrained that they gave them their identities to say, I am Lihasa Moloi. And then I asked him, who is this guy here? Then he said, this is Katiso Molefe. Then I said, this is the person that we're looking for.
Let me take you to the production of the licenses, Witness A. Was the license produced even in respect of the rifle?
Yes, the license of the rifle was produced, Chairperson, even though I wouldn't remember now at what stage it was produced. Was it at the gate? Because things were happening very fast. I can't remember correctly now if at first he produced only for the pistol, or he produced both. But as the operation was progressing, we had both licenses.
You know this better than I do. Do ordinary individuals like me, I won't say you and I, you are a police officer, but definitely I, do they get issued licenses for rifles?
That is a question that I asked him. They actually do. I asked him, how did you get to be issued with the rifle, this caliber license? Then he told me that he actually has a security company under his name. Even I don't know if it was operating or not, but he told me that he has got a security company. And then further, he told me that that rifle, it was for his personal safety.
Thank you, Chair. Witness A, can you then continue with once you make entry? How did Mr. Molefe identify himself to you? I'm not sure if you covered that already.
Yes, for starters, I asked to say, who is this man that is with you? Then he said, it was Gadiso we are looking for. Then I went to him, then I say, sir, who are you? Then he said, he is Mr. Molefe. He is Gadiso Molefe. And then I said, I told him who I was. And then the reason why we were there, which was now we are arresting him for the murder of Mr. Amar Swart.
And then
he, yes, Commissioner.
No, sorry, proceed.
And then the first question was that he asked me was, how are we connecting him to that murder, because he was not there. Then I said, but then you didn't need to be there for you to be connected to a murder, but for now, we will deal with that later. Here is a warrant for your arrest that is issued by the court. And then I read it out for him, and then I gave it to him to read. I also asked him if I can explain it to in a vernacular language as to what it was saying. Then he said, no, there is no need. He understands it. Then he has read it. It's fine. I can arrest him. And then I arrested him. I made him safe. I secured him. And then we made the environment or the house safe. And then we took him to the safe place. And then we told him what is going to happen in terms of searching his place. We are requested to search his place, which he consented to. He agreed. And then we wanted to search his house because he had a lot of cars. I mean, the vehicles that were parked in his yard. We asked if we can search the vehicles. Then he said yes. But and then I also requested him to declare if there is anything unlawful that he would like to declare before we could search. Then he said, no, there is nothing unlawful that he needed to declare. We can search the house. And then further than that, I asked him who else was at home that he wants to tell us about. Then he said it was his kids. And about, I think it was 3 guys that were working for him. The gardeners, I will call them that. They were helping him in the garden. And then they came, then we saw them, we made them safe. The kids came, we saw them, we made them safe. Then they were at the one side as we started to search.
Witness A, you say the team included the TRT. Were they in uniform?
The TRT were not in full uniform, except of their bullet vests, the bullet proofs that are clearly marked SAPS.
Yes, and so when Mr. Lehasa came out and he had a rifle on him, would he have been aware that he is dealing with or he's going to be confronting or talking to the police? Were you properly
would have been aware.
identifiable?
Yes, he would have been aware because they were clearly visible. But other than that, I would think that the first confrontation with our teams that were in the BMW that was confronted by Molefe and with his JMPD friend. The JMPD friend, he did approach them and they introduced themselves to him as a police. So by then he exactly knew that this was the police operation.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloy. You were then dealing with the searches that you had undertaken at the house. You said that you searched the vehicles. How many vehicles did you search?
We searched the number of the vehicles that were there, commissioners,
I think it's at paragraph 80.
paragraph 8. It was quite a number of vehicles. I can't see the number now.
I think you've got 7 in your statement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was the number of the vehicles, but what I remember is that we asked if all these vehicles are his, and then he said all of them are his. Then we requested him to give us all the vehicles that he told us that are in the kitchen. Then we went there, then we took all the vehicles for us to be able to have access to the vehicles. And then before we could start searching, we requested for him to consent to a search. And then he said yes. And then for things like the cell phones and laptops, he had to sign a consent form for us so that we can be able to search those things or maybe to access those things in terms of downloading. And then we took that form, we read it out to him, and then still I also said, can I explain the contents of the form to you? Then he told me to say, I was a teacher, I understand English. So, but he didn't say it in a bad way. He just told me that you do not have to explain it to me in vernac. I understand the contents, so let me sign. And then he signed because I wanted him to understand it in English. If he doesn't understand, if there is a word that he doesn't understand, then I was going to explain to it the way I understood. But he said, no, there will be no need to explain it to him in vernac because he does understand English. He was a teacher. Then he signed that consent form. And then we started searching from outside in the vehicles going in the house.
Okay, can you tell us about the search in the house from paragraph
Yes.
81?
Yes. The search started in his house with him telling us what room served what purpose. There was a kitchen, there was a room just behind the kitchen that he says that room is used as an office, then it's a family office. In that room, when we searched in it, we found a lot of documents that he said they belong to his son.
What were these documents relating to?
These documents were relating to different companies. It seemed like these documents had a lot to do with Transnet, applying for tenders for Transnet, registration of companies, and then there is also a particular set of documents that belonged to a company that I mentioned yesterday, which is SK Group, which is now linked directly to the matter that we were dealing with at the time. This A group, if I can just take the commission a little aback, is that it was the group, it was the company that was a buyer at QTech company buying for Transnet. and then Molife's nephew, Lucky Molife, that we needed to arrest, was working for Transnet, holding a position of a buyer as well, meaning he will buy products for Transnet. Now, we find in these documents here, and then this SK Group was supposed to be an independent company, not linked to Molife. But now here it was at Katiso's house. And then I asked him about this document to say, why are you having these documents at your house? And he said, hey, these things have nothing to do with him, because this office is mostly used by Lucky Molife and his son, who is Tapelo Molife. So he didn't want to take ownership of the SK Group documents. But among the documents that we found there was about, I think, 2 pages that were full of signatures that you could see that this person is practicing signatures using different pens. I will say it is different pens because the fonts are not the same. The other signature will be written in a strong font, the other one will be the light font, the other one will be a red pen, but it's one signature repeated many times. Though you could see that this person is practicing this signature for whatever reason. Then we asked him about, why are you having these pages that is full of signatures? Who is practicing these signatures? Then he said, don't ask me about these things. I rarely visit this office. It is used by my nephew, who is like Molife, and my son.
And what did you do with all the papers that you confiscated?
We took those papers, then they were booked into the SAP 13 when he was arrested.
What is SAP 13?
The SAP 13 number, I will look for it now, commissioners. I think it is 21821. I'm just remembering it from my head. I think it was 2181. 2025.
Ms. Seegers Nube, are you not asking for a description of what the SAP 13 is?
Correct, Chair. I just want to know what document, what kind of document is it, the description of the SAP 13?
Oh, I thought you were asking the entry number.
No, what is an SAP 13?
The SAP 13 is an exhibit register book where the police will register any exhibit that are coming into the police station in relation of the cases. So for custody, it is called the 13 custody book in other terms.
Okay, and then at paragraph 82, you deal with the continuation of your search. Can you take us through that?
Yes, we continued searching, and then we found the DVR system that was controlling the CCTV cameras that were fitted in the house. But the first DVR system was found in the kitchen. And then we asked him if this DVR is the one that is controlling the whole system in this house. Then he said, according to his understanding, yes, this is the DVR that is controlling the activities here, the cameras. And then we told him that it will form the part of the things that we're going to take, because it will be subject to investigation to see the movements or what was happening here before the arrest. Because already we knew that the way things that were happening here, having seen from yesterday's testimony that Puleta was visiting him regularly, using that Mercedes-Benz Viano bus, And then we thought maybe there will also other people that we will need to pick up if maybe we're going to be allowed by him to confiscate the DVR system. He said he does not have a problem. We can have the DVR system, but he will not going to give us the PIN to the DVR because he doesn't know it. And then my question was, but this is your system and you are the owner of this house, you should know it. And he said, no. The TI people that work here, they know it. It's not him that know the PIN.
Now, you say that there were two systems, one in the bedroom and one in the kitchen. Can you just tell us about that?
Yes, there were two systems. And then we needed now to be sure, because now this thing needed the person who understands IT, that wanted to assist us as to how are we going to take this thing, because if you disconnect it, you must disconnect it in a way that when you bring it back, it is not damaged. And then we requested a person from our TI support to say, hey, we've got a system here that we need to confiscate. But now the problem is, even if we can take it now, we do not have a PIN and we want to disconnect it. Can you come assist? And then that TI person really came, and then he started trying to disconnect it. And then as he arrived there checking the system, then he told us, no, this DVR system that is seeing there is just a decoy. It is not connected to this. It is not controlling these cameras.
Which one, witness A, the one in the kitchen or the one in the bedroom?
The one in the kitchen. He says it is not working. It's there. It's made to be seen as working, but it's not controlling these cameras. And then we say, but now how can we find another DVR that is connected to this one? Then we had to go back and ask Kadiso Molefe to say, but now this DVR system is not the one that is controlling the CCTV system outside. Then he said, no, he doesn't know that. All he knows is that this DVR that is in the kitchen is the one that is controlling everything here. And then this IT person of ours, the police, said, let me see if I can assist to trace the real DVR. Then he did do his things. I don't know how he went about, but he actually eventually did find the DVR in the master bedroom, where Molefe sleeps now. He traced it there, then he said, oh, come, here is the DVR that controls the whole system. That one, you can leave it, because even if you take it, there's nothing on it. It's just a decoy DVR system. And then I asked Molefe to say, but now you are not being truthful with us. Why didn't you tell us that in the room that you sleep in, there is another DVR? Maybe if you didn't know which one was controlling your system, you could say maybe take them both, because I don't know which one it is that will help you. Then he said he didn't know about the one that was in his bedroom.
Okay, and then at paragraph 83, you talk about something that transpired while you were busy searching the premises. Can you elaborate?
Yes. During that, when we're doing our operation now, because it was a huge operation, we were mostly inside, because his house is huge. It's a big house. It took a long time to do a search there. And then we're getting information from the people from outside that there are people that that have arrived, and then they demanding to enter. They call themselves that they're coming from DPCI, and then they want to know what was going on at Mlife's house.
Can you just tell us what is DPCI?
DPCI are known as Hawks.
Thank you.
It's an allied unit that is working with priority crimes.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Yes, and then I was called outside to come and explain to them and tell them to say, no, this was a legit operation that was taking place at Mlife's house, and then I found these members with the members of the TRT outside, and then with also one of the members that we were working with, who was trying to explain to them to say, no, this operation is a legit police operation. And then when I came there, I told them, no, we are executing a J50 here. We are doing an arrest. Then they said, where are you guys coming from? Then I told them, my office, to say, we are coming from organized crime. We're working with the PKTT team. We're doing this operation on a certain case. Then they said, now they need details of the case that we're working on. And they wanted us to brief them on that case, which now we said, no, we cannot do that, because now, what is your interest in the case? Why should we give you the details of the case that we're working on? Because for now, you just told us that you're from DPCI. We haven't verified that. We're just taking it from face value that you're from there. But for us to give you information on the case that we're working on, I don't think that will be proper. And then we didn't give that.
Witness A, I understand that DPCI is Directorate for Priority Crimes, the Hawks. Now, in your experience, was it usual that while you are effecting arrest or engaging in your operations, you would come across the Hawks and there would be that interaction between your team and the Hawks?
No, Commissioner, it was not a usual thing. It was not a usual thing because even with me, my experience would be that you will be driving, doing a certain operation, maybe you find other teams from different components, they doing their work. You don't interfere with them. If you can see that, oh, these are police doing their work, all right, that could be proper, that's fine. You leave them at that. So it was an unusual thing.
And once your team had identified themselves as police, was it usual for the Hawks to ask for the case number and the nature of the operation?
It was very unusual. It was an odd thing to happen because why would you want the case number or the details of the docket? What would you do with that? Let alone that this case, it was the case that was not even shared with the units that we were coming from. So for a different component to want to know the details of the case that you're working on was so unusual.
And you say that when you inquired what they were doing there, they told you that they were sent by their general to find out what was going on at the premises. Did they say who their general was?
They told us that they're being sent by their general national head, and then they didn't really say the name, but there will be only one national head of the Hawks at that time. Even if you are told that you wouldn't then ask for the name, you would know who that person is.
When you were engaging with these people, witness A, someone must have been speaking on their behalf from the DPCI. Did you get a name, their title?
I think if I remember correctly, the name would have been Karuga. I think so, Commissioner, but their title, I don't know if it's a captain or it's a colonel, I cannot remember correctly, because it was a fast-paced operation. I will have to be here, I will have to move to the house and come back here and see what was happening. I cannot remember their names properly from the top of my head.
Yes. Ms. Seagulls, is there any way you can be of help? Not necessarily now.
Yes, Captain Kruger.
Kruger. Sorry, I didn't even pick that up. Thank you. Witness A, do you confirm, are you able to confirm what Ms. Seagulls is saying, that it was Captain Kruger?
That is correct. What I was not too certain about was the title. I just forgotten.
Yes. And where you've said to the chairperson, the general, there was only one general. Was it General Libya? And I'm saying that because he's the only general I know.
That is correct. It was General Libya who was the head, the national head of DPCI at that time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. Then if we go to page 27, still continuing with your evidence regarding what was transpiring between you and DPCI, you refused to give them any information. What was their attitude towards that?
Yes, when we didn't want to give them information, they didn't really want to let go or to back off, to the extent that one of their members spoke to me in Venet to say, arrest that person for interfering, meaning Captain Kruger. Why don't you arrest him for interfering? Because you guys have explained yourself to him, but still he's pestering. He's still asking questions. He wants to know more, but you told him that you're doing a formal or a non-police operation. You should just be arresting him. And then the person was saying that is one of the person that he came with.
Witness A, are you at liberty to tell us who that person is?
No, Commissioners. I think I will withhold his name at this moment, because even if I would, I know him by a nickname. Then I can give that to the evidence leader, not on this platform, if that is okay with the Commission.
Okay, you may proceed, Witness A. We are now at paragraph 84. When you were talking about the DPCI T-shirted officers, in your paragraph 83, you also mentioned the presence of a helicopter. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. Then now, as I'm saying that, I was pacing around, coming to the gate, attending to these DPCI people. There was also a lawyer who also wanted to be let in there. And then there is also a person who was a friend, who introduced himself as a friend of Mlife, who really demanded entry. He said he wants to be let in. And then the people who were controlling the situation had to call us from inside to say, let's call the detectives, and then you tell them who you are and why you want to be let in here. So I was pacing up and down. Then as I left the gate now, having addressed the DPCI guys, going back to the operation that was happening inside, we had the noise of the hoovering helicopter that was hovering so low over the house. We thought maybe it was just passing, but then it just made turns, maybe for about 10 minutes to say what was happening now. Then I came out to see what was going on, then I could see that that was a police helicopter, not SAPS, but it was a traffic helicopter that was just hovering so low over this house. And then we thought there's something really happening. And we reported that because we were now having our commanders that were in somewhere that were reporting this situation to them. This is what is happening now. Can we get protection? Because on that one, I really asked for protection to say, I think we'll have a problem here. Can we maybe have a reinforcement? I understand that we had a TRT that were giving us protection and protecting the scene and all that. But now seeing a helicopter above, you can see now you are going to be outnumbered because these people now are airborne, you are down. You need to report this. What is happening? Are we even going to take this person out of this house? And then calls were made to our commanders to say, this is what is happening now. Then they said, no, just look at the situation, see how it unfolds, then you report back to us. And then, but anyway, if you need help, we will be there. So that was happening. That's what was happening, and I just should say that the hoovering of the helicopter and then the visit by the DPCI members told us or showed us that we were dealing with a person that was of a different caliber from the suspect that we usually used to arrest. Because this was not our first arrest, this was not our first operation. We were used to operate arresting people on major cases, but this one was a different one.
Do you know who was the person that was operating the helicopter?
Yes, the person that was operating the helicopter was later identified because now we wanted to know in the weeks that followed to say, why was that happening? Why was helicopter coming to our arrest? Were they coming there to maybe take the Mlife away from us? Is there something that we need to worry about going forward? What it is that we need to do? Then we did our investigation that we could. Then we found that the helicopter was being operated by the gentleman that introduced himself as Chief Provincial Inspector George Raff. I cannot read this surname.
Raftopoulos.
Yes.
And did he say on whose instruction he was there?
Yes, he told us that he was coming from Gauteng traffic. Then he was requested by a certain colonel from TPCI to say he has received a complaint that there is bogus police in that address that we're in. Then he was sent to go check what was going on there.
Can I just clarify from what division is Raftopoulos?
He said he is based in Gauteng Traffic Police.
Gauteng Traffic Police. And in your statement, you refer to a DPCI captain, not a colonel. Which one is the
Yes.
correct one?
That will be captain. I just now do not have the details of who did he really say that he got the request to come assist there.
Do you know if it could be the same Captain Kruger?
Yes, that's correct.
Witness A, at the time of the operation, this helicopter, were you able to identify where it was from? As in, it's a police helicopter, it's a provincial, I think you say the chief provincial inspector, that it came from province. Were you able to determine it's private or it's a state, one of the state agencies' helicopter?
Yes, we could, because we're doing this with the assistance with the members that were outside. They could identify that it belonged to traffic police. But when you looked at it as it was flying above, you could mistaken it as a police helicopter. Because initially I thought it was a police helicopter, like SAPS helicopter by that. But then we were told, no, this is not a police helicopter. This is a traffic helicopter, which was then confirmed by its operator, Inspector George.
Yes. And the members of the DPCI that were there, how big a number was it?
It was quite a number. I wouldn't really have a definitive number as to say there were 15 or 14, but it was quite a number because actually there was a lot of people outside the gate that came in support of Molefe. And then some did not introduce themselves as who they were. And then you would not come out of the gate and ask around who is this person and who is that person. So, but I did see this group that was wearing these easily identifiable DPCI shirts, that it was quite a group.
And were they armed? The DPCI T-shirted people?
I could not establish that from where I was standing,
Yes.
Commissioners.
Yes. How would you describe it? I'm asking whether they were armed because I want to try and establish whether you're able to describe what the situation, the atmosphere was like now that you've got a helicopter hovering. You have these many people that you're describing from the DPCI, TRT, your team, and whoever else might have been. What was the atmosphere?
The atmosphere was quite tense. You could see that if this situation cannot be managed and controlled well now, anything can happen. Even not only on this point, even before we could come to this place, you could see that it was a matter of minutes that things could go out of hand, because you had a suspect who was armed and then approaching the police. Then the police are also armed. So it was just a matter of who is controlling the situation better now. So the situation was volatile from onset up until the operation was called off. There was no time where you will say, now it's safe, I can sit down, I can drink water, I can maybe have lunch. We didn't have lunch for the day, for the whole day, because you were kept on your feet, looking at the safety of this person that you are arresting, looking at the safety of yourself, looking at the safety of the family members that were there, his kids, because you didn't know who will come with what. More especially when you could see that they've got capabilities to come on air to say now you can, because when you're going to an operation, you look at the area, you say, okay, you will have your members at that corner, guarding that space, you got that small gate and all that. But now when they come airborne, how are you going to operate that? You're not even trained for that. So it changes the whole situation to say, hey, what are we faced with now?
Thank you,
And
Witness.
then I actually did go and ask the suspect to say, what is happening here? Then he said, I should ask you, I don't know. You see, I'm here with you. That's what he said. I'm here with you. I don't know what is happening outside.
Thank you, Witness A. Thank you, Ms. Siegel.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloy. Chair, I'm not sure if we should take the tea adjournment now because I'm moving on to still part of the same topic, but it's quite a lengthy explanation from the witness.
Let's adjourn and resume at 15:15.